Okay, we're going to look at factoring. So factoring is a process that breaks down a quadratic into two completely separate factors, things that multiply to be what they started with. It's a replacement for the quadratic formula that allows you to find the solutions. And so here's the process. The process is you take the first and last number, 2 times 3, which is 6, and we look for factors of 6 that add up to my middle number, which is 5. So things that multiply to 6, but they have to add up to 5, like 2 and 3. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 plus 3 is 5. Now what we do is we write those numbers with the variable in what we call factors, and we divide those factors by the first number, which in this case is 2. Now, if they divide evenly, like 2 divided by 2 is 1, we just write b plus 1. And if they don't divide evenly, we don't leave it as a fraction, we move that number on the bottom up to the front. We write 2b plus 3. Alright, now this is important here to identify. These are what we call the factors, but they're not the answers. It says solve by factoring. So the factors provide you the solutions. The solutions are what makes each one of these equal to 0. An easy way to do that is to take the opposite of whatever you have here. So the opposite of a positive 1 is a negative 1. Now here, because we took that fraction and moved that bottom up, it's easier to get this answer from up here. So the opposite of positive 3 halves is negative 3 halves. So these are our solutions. And let's practice that a few more times just to kind of get familiar with it. So on number 2, factors of 2 times negative 3, that would be negative 6, that have to add up to 5. Now 2 and 3 won't work here because 2 times 3 is positive 6. So if we want to get negative 6, how about, positive 5, how about positive 6 and negative 1? That would still get me 5, but it would multiply to negative 6. So I can write n plus 6 and n minus 1. I can divide both of them by the first number, which is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and that answer is going to be negative 3. And then this one, I move the 2 up front, but I can look here and say that the answer is going to be positive 1/2. Alright, so a couple more. So on number 3, now the first number is 1. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Has to add up to the middle number, which is 1. So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So I can write those numbers as factors. I can divide them by 1. Now dividing by 1 doesn't really matter. It doesn't change anything. So if you're dividing by 1, I guess you could actually skip that step, because my solutions are then just going to be negative 2 and positive 1. And then one more, just to make sure we've got it. 2 times negative 9, that's negative 18. Has to add up to the middle number, which is 3. So 6 and negative 3, 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. That adds up to 3, so I've got n plus 6 and n minus 3. I need to divide them by 2. 6 divided by 2 comes out to exactly 3. And then this one is a fraction, so I'll write it 2n minus 3. But I'll get my solutions of negative 3. And this one I need to look up here, it'd be easier, positive 3/2.